Oh, maybe I needed to turn my phone on. Is yours on? His is on. He's on 6. Okay, but he's not on. I can't hear him. Oh, man. Can you bring us a different microphone, I guess, for Stoney here? Number 6 sucks, apparently. I like that you're still talking into it just for aesthetic purposes for the people in the video. For the people watching. The Titans are going through it, and so are we. I'm not coming through it all, am I? No, you're not. That's what I'm saying. You're just holding this for no reason. Oh, boy, this Tennessee Titans team. This football and other F words. We're probably going to hear a lot of F words tonight because this team is a fucking disaster. Well, you'll have to go to the other one. This is great radio. I love it. I love it that we're sitting here spending the first 5 minutes. We're going with number 1. Let's see. Does the thing work? It's dead too. All right. Here we go. Let's turn this one on and see. The moment of truth. We should have batteries in there. It is dead. Look at that. A perfect example of why, we should probably always check the batteries. 0 for 5. Isn't that amazing? That, we have this fancy podcast studio and we never have batteries. Well, I guess you just saying, maybe here, should I just, what you got?
Can y'all cuddle up?
That's what I was about to say. Should we just pass the microphone? Can you go get us some batteries out of, do you know where they're at?
No.
Okay. Hey, here, I'm going to give the phone to you, or give the microphone to you, Stoney, and I'm going to go get batteries.
All right, so welcome to Football and Other F Words, happy hour with Stoney Keeley. I don't have any poems I can read. I actually did not come prepared for this at all because I only have a Ray Bradbury book in my backpack. I'm reading The Halloween Tree, so that is what has preoccupied my interest now. They were looking in a box, and there was nothing in the box, so now they're gone. Zach just took off around the corner. I don't know what's happening here. This is as off the rails as the Tennessee Titans are. I've had a nice, quiet week. I don't know. I've taken some time off of Twitter to relax a little bit. My father-in-law's in town, so we've been out just having dinner around town, taking it easy. I've been away from the noise. I've started my draft prep because I just decided on Monday morning, after the news that Brian Callahan had been let go, I'm just going to stop charting this offense, and I'm going to stop dedicating like 6 hours a week to studying this offense. So I pivoted to draft coverage and watched a little bit of that Oregon-Indiana game. Got Dante Moore scouting reports coming up. I got Fernando Mendoza scouting reports coming up. And I've just been living in La La Land. Just been hanging out, taking it easy. Do we have an update on the batteries? We can't. Oh, man. Do you need? Oh, I thought you were about to just pour water on it. It's like, wow, that's an interesting strategy. You got to get the batteries wet before you can pull them out. It's like lubing them up. That body armor. Is this on camera, Ross? Can people see Zach trying to get these batteries out?
It's sort of on camera.
This is awesome. Is anybody in the chat? Because I don't have my phone up. I'm curious.
Cole said production looking the same level as the football team. And
Nice.
Wild Bill said roses are red, violets are blue. We ass.
We ask.
How about
Number 3, do it for Dale.
hello?
No, there's still nothing.
But number 3, I think, works off number 2.
Oh, that's right. We established that.
Check. There you go.
There he is.
So you got to look at the little levels up top. I'll teach you how to produce later. You got to look up at the little levels up top.
Can you teach yourself how to get batteries beforehand?
Oh, I got to do that too? God, I got to do everything around here.
I mean, to be fair, there's like 6 microphones in here that are dead.
Yeah, because it's our fault because of that. And I'm not saying it's Ross's fault either. It's just
no,
people
the
who
previous people.
Yeah.
what's that guy's name? Nelson? Mason. Mason. It's Mason's fucking fault. I hope he's listening. I don't know if he listens to Football Another F
That's
Words,
what I'm
but
saying. Like, we keep coming in here, and our shit stays the same.
Yeah.
Everybody else shit stays different.
We turn off our microphones. We turn off our battery packs. We put them in a certain place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We treat this place with respect.
I don't even fart when I'm in this room.
I can't say that I haven't, so at
Wow.
least good for you. I mean, you
Wow.
are the
And we know
patron saint Stoney over here.
We know what Jackson does on that couch on Sundays.
So do you want to start with J.C. Latham being a guard?
Yeah.
Is that not the stupidest fuck? I mean, I saw this, Glory Day Sports, nice guy.
I love Jake.
Jake is a nice guy.
Yeah.
But his tweet today, I see, here's the thing, is that this starts out pretty normal, and then it goes, let's put Skoronski at left tackle,
Mhm.
Dan Moore at right tackle, and J.C. Latham at right guard.
But counterpoint, would you not like to see that?
No. Well,
'Cause
I mean, just from a pure curiosity standpoint.
I would like to see that, how
Yeah.
that would work out.
Yeah. I don't get the right guard narrative. I think it's bullshit. And I think everybody kind of forgets he hasn't practiced for 4 weeks and had a hip injury.
I don't know. Is he even healthy now?
Well, did you hear what Nick Holtz said today? See, this is why I will miss Nick Holtz. Rest in peace, Nick Holtz, in 2026.
He ain't going nowhere.
he's going to survive the next regime change, too.
My advice to Nick Holtz has been go hide behind a fridge somewhere, let this whole thing blow over, and we won't even know he's still with the Titans until we realize in 2028 he's Ed Orgeron's run game coordinator.
What, did you see? Well, he's already started growing out his hair. He's not even shaving anymore.
Really?
Even his bald part of the head.
Oh, man.
He's just given up on life.
We got to
this
help
week.
him out here.
Yeah.
But what did he say about
So
J.C. Latham?
he said, most players would wait till they're healthy. That's what he said today.
Okay.
So he just told us J.C. Latham is not healthy. But props to J.C. Latham for battling through it, is what he said, battling for his teammates.
Yeah.
And he's been getting shit just dumped on him constantly. And I don't even think his tweet was that bad. One tweet.
I didn't
Someone
think it was
said
that bad
he's
either.
tweeting through it. And I'm like, tweeting through it requires multiple tweets, not just
Yeah.
one tweet.
Yeah.
And the one tweet is making fun of all the losers who are panicking over his one performance.
Yeah. And his injury was a hip injury, correct? Or am I misremembering?
Yeah, a hip strain.
Your hips are pretty important if you're playing tackle.
Yeah.
'Cause you have to turn them things and chase and reset and all that stuff. And I mean, I don't know. Oh, man. I mean, the way Kevin Zeitler's playing right now, it might come to that.
Jackson Slater, it's Slater season. Because I heard Ramon say, he says, now sometimes it's just players maybe checking out because they're losing. But
Yeah.
he sure does look retired, is what Ramon said. And I said the same thing. I think we all said that on Sunday. I think Ross has said it. Jackson has said it. Like, this dude looks like he's already retired.
Yeah, it's not good.
Good for
And
him to get paid all that money.
Yeah, so like I don't know. I get wanting to try new things and all that, but no, I mean, J.C. Latham's your right tackle.
But they're saying J.C. Latham to right guard not because of Kevin Zeitler, but because they think
But
J.C.
because he's
Latham now
bad.
stinks.
Well, I know, like, he had the range issues. I get that was a question of his coming out of college, but
He was also way fatter.
he's looked solid at tackle before the injury
Yeah.
is what gets me. So,
TK says Latham injury
doesn't
for
look healthy.
alignment. Latham injury for a lineman is like a leg sprain for a wide receiver. This is exactly what Blaine said.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. And I love the people that say, well, I can only go off what J.C. Latham says, and he says he's fine. Well, are y'all fucking new to the NFL? Like, have you never talked to a player before in your life?
Yeah.
They lie.
Yeah.
And the best pros won't use injury as an excuse. They'll say, I have to be better.
Mhm.
They'll say I'm fine because they don't want to be out of the game.
Yeah.
But it was pretty obvious by like way before even halftime. I looked at you and I go, he's not right. He's not ready. This is our fear. Our fear was that he got rushed out there way too early.
Yeah, and that's I mean, you just got to give it some time. I mean, I don't know.
Mike Bell says everybody says they're fine, and it's a lie. And I agree.
Yeah.
Everybody literally.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times has your wife said, "Oh, it's fine. I'm fine."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to take some, like, you miss some time at a position where chemistry and timing and gelling are all such important factors. Like, it's going to take you a little bit to get back into it. I mean, from a health perspective, that's
Yeah.
one thing. But then you talk about the chemistry of the offensive line. I don't think if you're ready to panic on J.C. Latham after that game, buddy, it ain't going to get better anytime soon, I don't think.
Well, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, look at Tavondre Sweat. He's coming back from injury. He's probably not going to look right. I mean, when's the last time you've seen someone come back from injury in such a short time frame and just look like that right away?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be like 3 weeks at least. Is that generous?
I don't know. He's not on the injury report whatsoever this week, so I'm assuming he feels pretty good after going through a game. But again, I don't know. I mean, how bad is he going to have to compensate for Zeitler?
That's part of it too. How much tight end help are they giving him?
Yeah.
And
I mean, and what's going to be, we'll see, level of competition this week. No Harold Landry, it looks like. So it's going to be like Anthony Jennings, and I don't even know who their other.
Joshua Farmer and
something like that. Are you just making up names?
No, Joshua Farmer is that undersized D tackle from Florida State that they've moved to more of an outside guy. Is Keon White healthy?
I think he is healthy. I think both him and Anthony Jennings look like they're trending to come back from injury.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Whoever it is, it's going to be a rough day.
You think even with the injury, with no Harold Landry, it could still be a rough day for the offense versus that defense?
Yeah, I do.
Why do you do?
They've just got these big, thick dudes that they just put up on the front, and it's just like they're just like our 4 against your 5. We don't care. We're going to whoop your ass. They don't do. There's not a lot of movement. There's not a lot of smoke and mirrors with that group. They're just like 6 deep at these stout, squatty guys.
Yeah,
that can power rush, and that just want to line up one-on-one and drive you back. And they hold the point, and then these linebackers, Jack Gibbons, Robert Spillane, like these guys just flow to the run. There's nowhere to go. The Patriots front is just a brick wall.
You know what my favorite thing about the Robert Spillane talk has been this week?
What's that?
It's like if you could build a Mike Vrabel linebacker in a lab, it'd be Robert Spillane. Do y'all remember that he cut him?
Yeah, that he.
I mean, like, yeah, sure. He got his get back, I guess, because he signed him to like a $40 million contract. But like, let's also remember, Mike Vrabel upon a time cut him.
Yeah, because he wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think
like the narratives sometimes are funny that spring up from weird games like this.
They've got this guy, Kyrus Tonga, defensive tackle that like I've never heard of in my life. And he's just this mountain of a man that just eats blocks and like you run into him and bounce off of him kind of deal. And I'm just like I don't know where they found all these guys that suddenly they're just like they're Mike Vrabel guys.
So
they're
you're just not
grinding.
going to give the Titans any chance to win.
I think it's going to be a bloodbath.
See, here's where I'm at. It's not because of the players on the field or the new coaches or the coaching staff difference or anything like that. Not the home field advantage. It's the voodoo. It's the voodoo that you do here at the NFL.
Yeah.
It is the witchcraft, the
witch in the woods.
weird, everything about a game, the universe, right? It is telling us that Vrabel is due for a letdown game.
Yeah, because they are riding pretty hot right now.
They're riding hot, and he loves to have a letdown game.
Yeah.
And it's a new coach bump. I just think all the universe is kind of aligning to say, hey, bet the Tennessee Titans to cover this game at least.
Man, but what kind of spark do you think the new coach bump will give these players?
Well, I mean,
to overcome their talent deficit.
I think it's all about the simplification, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think this team has had a problem playing fast.
That is for sure.
Okay, so and it's not with a lack of athleticism. I mean, they're a pretty athletic group for the most part across this entire roster almost. And so I think that things were overcomplicated, and I think you saw it with the defense. The defense's theme was it the Cardinals game, going in the Cardinals game, or going in the last game? Was we're going to simplify the playbook. We're simplifying everything.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. That's what Denard Wilson said. And I think that when you look at it, that I think if Mike McCoy does the same thing and the big theme this week has been players over plays, and my message to Cam Ward is trust the scheme and play like Cam Ward.
Yeah.
And I think that what that really means is trust that we got your back and we're going to put you in a position to succeed. Trust the scheme, and they're going to call plays that are going to be they may not look entirely different. So be looking for like personnel changes or under center versus shotgun reps.
Yeah.
How often do they lean in on the run? Like, look for those things. The routes may kind of look the same, but there may be outlets where there wasn't an outlet before. It's not going to be a complete scheme overhaul, but they're going to find the plays in the playbook. And if they don't have certain plays in the playbook, they're going to draw them up because he said every game plan is going to be different. And he also said, I'm not going to tell you my game plan. That really did not make the media happy because they've been spoiled these last 2 years to the chatty Cathy that is Brian Callahan. But Mike McCoy's like, I'm not going to tell you if we're going to run more RPOs because, hey, guess what? They listen to this shit.
Yeah.
The opponents listen to this.
Yeah.
So we're not going to tell you what we're going to do. But every game plan every week is going to be different. So I think, like, I come from a point of this is Mike McCoy's last chance.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if he utterly fails here, he'll never get another head coaching opportunity, right? Now, I'm not saying that he makes them win a lot of games, but if he makes them look competitive, right? Because that's been the big thing. That was the big bugaboo with Chad Brinker as the buzzword. Growth. Improvement.
I haven't seen a lot of either of those things.
Right. And if Mike McCoy could do that, then they're going to probably stupidly hitch their wagon to Mike McCoy.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, we don't know what Mike McCoy's learned since he was a 40-something-year-old head coach back in 2013.
Yeah.
Who he said, I was way in over my head. I didn't know anything about what was going on in 2013 as what you needed to do as a head coach.
My concern about this matchup specifically is that the Patriots are really good against the run, and where you can get them is passing the ball. But, excuse me, from what I've seen, they play a lot of zone. A lot of the yardage that they give up is from wide receivers that are able to locate the soft spot in between zones and quarterbacks that are able to find them in real time. And occasionally, if you can get behind their secondary, which they've got some really good underrated defensive backs, Christian Gonzalez, Marcus Jones, all playmakers. But if you can get behind those guys, they do seem to be lacking in the speed department. So you could accelerate. And I just don't know. Like, to me, that is the path, because we haven't seen this Titans offense. And to your point, maybe this is an area where Mike McCoy can tweak some things. We haven't seen this offense really thrive as dink and dunk. Let's get a feel for the zones, get in between guys, and just take what the defense gives us. This has been like we're chucking it or we're throwing a screen.
Everything feels very intermediate to deep.
Yeah. So that's what makes me concerned is like where you can beat the Patriots defense.
We haven't seen it.
You haven't shown us that you're capable of playing that style of football.
Until the fourth quarter when they start doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, that is to say, like, you get Chimere Dike behind Marcus Jones or something like that, and he accelerates. Maybe you can hit a couple of those deep shots, but I don't know, man. When I start looking at matchup by matchup, I feel like the way this Patriots team is playing right now, they're going to check a lot of the boxes. I did like your point about Jeffrey Simmons against the interior of this New England offensive line. They haven't been very productive running the ball, but it is still like a core philosophy of what they want to do. Hey, Joseph. Hi, Stoney. How you doing? Okay, well, he's just saying, hey. I'm feeling better. I'm getting there. Yeah. Yeah, it's been tough. It's been a tough week. But
Yeah, but he's saying, do you feel better because he got fired?
Oh, I see. No, I don't. Yeah.
Hey, it's not dead yet. The Ojukwu
That's
dagger
true.
is not
That's
dead.
True. And Nick Holtz was there
Yeah.
when I described the play too, so maybe he's still got it. That's true. Yeah.
Oh, we're screwed.
Yeah, we are. I don't. Yeah, man. That's what somebody needs to give me Mike McCoy's number, and then we'll go get it. But I do like your idea, the matchup of Jeffrey Simmons against the interior of this New England offensive line. I think that is one area that I would check for the Titans. And then, maybe the pass coverage against this group of New England wide receivers. Like it's not the best group of wide receivers, but like Pop Douglas, Kayshon Boutte, and Stephon Diggs are making plays because everything else seems to be working. Josh McDaniels is a little bit of the secret sauce there. And Drake May is just playing super efficient football. They're taking their shots when they present themselves, and he's not afraid to just chuck it deep. So I just have a hard time finding. For me, I'll give you this. If I'm going to predict a Titans win, it is because of the paranormal activity.
I will say this. I was looking through Philip Rivers' passing depth chart, throughout the couple of the years, and Mike McCoy was a little bit of a guy that would take the short stuff in the field, and then when he left, Philip Rivers started bumping up the other stuff. So,
okay.
and I will say this. Listen, Tim Tebow is not a great quarterback, but Mike McCoy changed the entire offense around Tim Tebow one year and then went in the next year with Peyton Manning. So there is a guy that can kind of do some stuff and a guy that probably knows some college concepts to get Tim Tebow going. That's what I really want to go back and do, which nobody in the history of mankind has probably ever said this phrase. I want to go back and watch Tim Tebow 2011 film with Denver.
Yeah.
Because I want to see what he did to help get everything going, because that shows a guy that's able to adapt, right? Because he was the offensive play caller.
And it's demonstrated.
Well, no, was that Josh McDaniels? Ooh.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels, who I don't know. That's a good question. But it is demonstrated evidence of the players over plays concept that you and I have talked about a lot on this show, and that he mentioned in his presser earlier.
That was John Fox, so he was the play caller for that.
Ooh.
So he was the offensive play caller that took Tim Tebow 7-4. Now listen, Tim Tebow had a 46.5% completion percentage, but that's your Tim Tebow tax.
Yeah.
He still had 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 1,729 yards. So like 123 yards per game. But, I mean, he probably adapted it wasn't a traditional drop back passing kind of deal.
That was an ugly offense to watch, if I recall correctly, but it was very much a grimy do what you got to do to move the ball. 271
pass attempts to 122 rushing attempts that year for Tim Tebow.
Okay.
So, there is. And then, he worked with Trevor Lawrence for a couple of years under Doug Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no lack of experience of working with maybe quarterbacks that don't thrive in traditional stuff that are more college-friendly systems.
Yeah.
So, and I think it comes down to keep it simple, stupid.
What do you just sit down with Cam? What do you want to run? What do you feel most comfortable with? I don't know how much of that was happening before.
What do you mean?
Because it just felt like plays over players. There was a lot of I feel like they spammed a few different passing concepts and they didn't lean into his strength. So if you're going to go in and simplify things, I mean, wouldn't you think like, yeah, let's sit down with Cam and just be like, what do you feel most comfortable with?
And TK says, if you want some fun, go watch his 2018 Cardinals film where he got fired 7 games in. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, with Josh fucking Rosen.
Who got fired?
Mike McCoy. He was the offensive coordinator when it's under Steve Wilkes when they drafted. Which reminds me of something, though. You hire Mike McCoy, you get Steve Wilkes as your defensive coordinator.
I do like Steve Wilkes. Denard Wilson's doing a fantastic job so far this season.
Yeah. I mean, I will have
and
to say.
And they want continuity.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, maybe they can still keep the continuity there. But, I mean, I think Denard Wilson's job has looked better because he adapted and changed, which, again, can take you all the way back to why Brian Callahan got fired.
Yeah.
Apparently, people say that he said players over plays. I don't ever remember it.
Yeah.
And nobody's been able to prove it, but I don't remember it.
I just wonder if it happened
and even if he said it,
conversation or something.
Yeah. And even if he said it, I think we have enough proof through 3 different quarterbacks that were each quarterback is entirely different from the other, and nothing changed.
Yeah. It was a particular critique of mine this season because it really did just seem like square peg in a round hole.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everything felt like square peg, round hole. I mean, even how they used your even how you used the screen game, right? Like, I mean, you're using the screen game with people that can't block.
Yeah. Which, I mean, to Dr. Dyson's point from Titans Talk back on Sunday, we don't know how much of those were actually called versus how much was checked into at the line. But I would say that in certain situations, I don't know, maybe don't check into those plays. Like, is there nothing else you can check into besides, well, we got to throw.
If he did check into him.
We got this look, so we better throw this screen behind Chimere Dike and Van Jefferson.
Yeah, that's the thing to me.
Tyler Lockett.
I mean, if he even checked into him, right? Maybe he should have been checking out the plays.
Yeah.
I think that when you look at a guy like Mike McCoy, who's had to work with various quarterbacks like Josh Rosen, Mike Glennon, Sam Bradford, Trevor Siemian, Brock Osweiler, Paxton Lynch.
Oh, I remember when Paxton Lynch was a thing.
Yeah. And those 2 stops as OCs were short-lived, but they had really shitty-ass fucking quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, Trevor Siemian, Brock Osweiler, and Paxton Lynch are pretty freaking terrible to have to work with. But when he has a talented quarterback, so I guess the question kind of becomes, how talented is Cam Ward as a rookie right now?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to be instant success on Sunday.
Yeah.
It needs to be, does Cam Ward look better than he did? Does he look more comfortable? Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's the thing to me is that, he's so even keel. He doesn't look flustered, but he just doesn't look comfortable at all.
I'd like to use the word efficient here too.
Yeah.
And natural.
Yeah. And I think some of that is the scheme. Some of that is being a rookie. Some of that is not taking what you should be taking.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that first play, pass play to Chig that ended up with him scrambling for 2 yards, Chig was wide open for, like, ever.
Yeah.
But
there were a couple of plays where guys were open.
Yeah, and he didn't throw.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because the scheme it doesn't marry well with his natural instincts or whatever, but it just was weird. But then that first drive was run, punt, right?
Yeah.
And then Geno Smith comes in, and they're going down the field, and the only the smart thing Jonathan Vilma said all freaking game happened at the beginning of the game. He's like, look at how they know that Geno Smith is in a rut. He's turning the ball over at a high rate. Look how they're giving him easy passes as they go down the field. Easy answers. They're giving him cheat codes.
Mm-hmm.
And Cam Ward, I feel like, hasn't gotten that at a consistent rate.
I would agree wholeheartedly. It's been man, it feels like everything has been deep or nothing.
Obviously, Patriots, I'd like to have a little rant.
Okay.
Does everybody not remember that Mike Vrabel went 6-18 in his last 24 games?
I guess not.
Is that not a fireable offense? Because we just said it was for Brian Callahan.
Yeah.
And not only that, see, here's the thing, because I think this is the best way to sum it up. You can be bad but not boring.
Mm-hmm.
You can be bad and not an asshole to work with.
Yeah.
And you can't be both.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You could be an asshole to work with, but you can't be bad like Kizm, Wiz, and Hunt.
Yeah.
I think I just totally fucked that up the first go-around, so we're going to go back around again.
Let's do it. All right.
So you can't be boring and bad like Mike Munchak and Brian Callahan.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be bad and an asshole like Ken Whisenhunt and what Mike Vrabel was the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think that at that time, you can say two things can be true. Mike Vrabel was probably the best coach Tennessee Titans have had.
I would agree with that.
And it went off the cliff pretty quickly because he couldn't get out of his own way. And I said that once he leaves, there is a good chance that, yeah, he may find success elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, everybody said he was going to get hired like that, and he did.
And he wasn't.
And he got humbled,
Yeah.
went up to Cleveland, and I think he found a lot of things to maybe take away from his Cleveland experience, and that's going to make him probably a good head coach. Great
Yeah.
head coach, we'll see.
Yeah.
But probably a good head coach. But the idea that the Mike Vrabel firing was a bad decision because Brian Callahan hiring was a bad decision, those are two separate decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, if you don't hire Brian Callahan, if you don't fire Mike Vrabel, but their own processes and results.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like a timeline, like it stops. Stopwatch starts over. And it's like it's like Texan Sean. He's like, y'all shouldn't have fired Mike Vrabel. I said, well, should y'all have fired Bill O'Brien? He only started off 0-4 after having an 11-5 season the year before.
Yeah.
He didn't even have two losing seasons back-to-back like the Tennessee Titans did. So should y'all have fired Bill O'Brien? Well, yeah, we should have fired him. Okay, well, then Tennessee Titans should have fired Mike Vrabel because he was worse at his job than Bill O'Brien was.
And Bill O'Brien was actually the GM.
Yeah.
And Vrabel was approaching that territory too, which is another piece that I feel like people forget about this, the idea that he wanted more control over personnel, but wasn't a personnel guy.
Yeah. So, like, to me, it's just like, okay, I mean, have we ever seen someone get fired in the NFL that didn't deserve it? I'm trying to think.
I do feel like
Ross, you feel free to chime in if you could think of anybody.
I do feel like, was it Carolina that did Steve Wilkes pretty dirty?
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one. Or did the Cardinals kind of did Steve Wilkes dirty, and then he got done dirty again by the Panthers. So something's wrong. Must be wrong with Steve Wilkes. I don't know. But, yeah, that would be a good one.
That was the first one that came to mind.
This is probably a bad one. It's just a personal opinion, but I thought the Jets did Robert Saleh pretty dirty last year, at least the timing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. If you want to take issue with the timing, but it's also, for me, it's like, if you're going to do it at the end of the season, why are you, and everybody kind of knows it, and it's the worst kept secret, isn't it just kind of like, just end it? It's like when you're in the middle of a vacation and you know that you're going to break up with someone. You might as well just do it on the vacation.
Just do it then.
Do it then.
And then go to Club La Vila.
Yeah, and just get Marty Schottenheimer after going 14-2. So that would be I guess San Diego back in the day.
I don't remember that far back. I feel like weren't there some locker room questions with Saleh though?
I don't know.
Didn't he get into it with some players or something like that?
I thought the whole rumor was that like Woody Johnson just freaked out because they were 2-3 after that loss to the Vikings.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe
panic button.
I'm mixing him up with someone else. I don't recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there aren't too many cases. There aren't too many instances where that happens, where a guy gets fired that doesn't that at least there's no real case or justification for it happening.
Because I've seen a lot of the national people, right? Like I think John Robinson earned a shot to get his way through the mess, to right the ship.
Yeah.
Dude, he had 3 fucking draft classes that failed epically.
I mean, you're talking
how many much more driving of the ship do you need to see before you realize that you're just driving a little like nothing, a pirate wheel attached to nothing.
You're talking 3 years, 3 draft classes with no real hits.
Yeah.
Like that's bad. I'm sorry. I like John Robinson. I like what he did prior to 2020, but that cannot be ignored.
And then I don't think you should ignore how Mike Vrabel was involved with some of the personnel decisions, but I don't think you should ignore how Mike Vrabel couldn't get along with anybody.
And also, people seem to forget, like, he did not choose Josh McDaniels as his offensive coordinator.
Right.
That was an arranged thing in New England.
I mean, he still made Todd Downing wide receiver coach, who has never coached wide receivers in his life.
Yeah.
And he still gave Jason Hotelling a job.
Everybody thinks that he just went up to Robert Kraft and said, here I am, baby. I'm calling the shots around here. But
ultimately,
no, Robert Kraft gave him a couple mandates.
Because I know a lot of people who supported the Mike Vrabel firing that have turned against the Mike Vrabel firing just because Brian Callahan sucks. Well, let me tell you something. The roster was the roster. And I mean, maybe you get a couple of more wins, but then you got worse draft picks.
Yeah.
And so, listen, sometimes you just need to bottom out. Unfortunately, the bottoming out happened with a nice guy like Brian Callahan.
Yeah, and it has been bottoming out. There ain't much bottom left to bottom out, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
At this point.
I mean, and listen, if you want to talk about the first draft pick that started off this whole mess, it was Isaiah Wilson. I know for a fact that was a Mike Vrabel pick.
Yeah.
Now, as John Robinson, you should probably flex your nuts to say, no, I don't want him. But that was a Mike Vrabel pick.
Yeah.
So if you really want to talk about the root cause of all of our issues, that's typically the part. You could also maybe say not doing Jack Conklin, which would then be maybe a John Robinson issue. We know Mike Vrabel doesn't like his injured players, right? So
yeah. But if that guy that drafts that pounds the table and drafts Isaiah Wilson comes to you and says, who's already has a reputation as an asshole, hard to get along with, and he comes to you and says, I want control over personnel.
Yeah. Well, dude, you wanted Isaiah Wilson, you signed Andre Dillard, and you love Aaron Brewer in a system that doesn't fit Aaron Brewer because he's as tough as a $2 steak.
Mm-hmm.
Those were all bad decisions made by Mike Vrabel that you have to just say that they were bad. And then he just wore his act and shtick wore thin on the players, wore thin on the staff. And it's just time to go after 2 years of not winning.
Everything runs its course.
And it was 2 years of not just losing seasons, but losing seasons that got worse.
Yeah.
Now, the Tennessee Titans continued to get worse. But that's because they're trying to do, like, they had these conflicting philosophies, and that conflicting philosophy was still there where they thought they weren't that far away. They didn't need to bottom out.
Yeah.
And Mike Vrabel was the king of not wanting to bottom out.
Yeah, and then you have this mess where you bring in Chad Brinker and you hire Rand Carthon, and now there's this weird power dynamic.
Yeah.
And
see, that's the
stuff
issue.
Just keeps, like,
because if you're going to keep
this
Vrabel,
is why we're here.
Yeah, if you're going to keep Vrabel, just promote whoever Ryan Cowden.
Yeah.
Okay? And if they suck again, fire them both. But maybe they don't fire him because maybe Mike Vrabel is a pleasant joy to work with because he has his boy Ryan Cowden.
I don't know.
But at the same time, firing Mike Vrabel wasn't the issue. It's the hiring processes after that.
Yeah. To act like he's a saint in all of this.
Oh, I don't think Frank Reich was done wrong at any point, was he? Wouldn't count the Panthers as that. Of course, he was really done wrong by the selection of the quarterback because that was forced on him by the owner.
Yeah, because he
so
wanted
I guess
Stroud.
You could kind of say he got done wrong.
Yeah.
But that's a little bit.
I did some digging on that back here. There's a franchise, Titans franchise. This is years ago, decades ago, but Bum Phillips got fired in 1980 after 2 straight seasons of 11-5.
Oh,
Damn.
there you go.
And then got picked up by the Saints the year after as head
There you
coach.
go. And see, I would say that there's less dysfunction in firing Brian Callahan now than there is when they decided to keep him. I think it shows more. I don't know if dysfunction is really the right word, but the bad decision wasn't firing Brian Callahan now. It was not firing Brian Callahan when you fired Rand Carthon.
If there was not going to be patience, like they said there was going to be patience, then yes, they should have just severed ties and got a new timeline going, quarterback and coach on the same.
But,
same
to
wavelength.
be honest, this is what we kind of warned everybody about when everybody was talking about patience over. We warned them about multiple different things. First thing we warned them about was keeping Brian Callahan was a dumb move. Because you're banking on him to be the outlier of Zach Taylor, and look how that has now taken the Bengals in a totally different direction. Now watch them, because I said that, beat the Steelers tonight, but case in point.
Yeah.
The Titans and the Steelers are in every graft, offensive graft, in the bad quadrant together. So if that tells you anything.
Yeah.
So that was a mistake with another one. But we also told everybody, patience over panic sounds really great, but you got an owner that good luck.
That's still the X factor. Yeah.
And Diana Rossini,
they have no control over.
Yeah, Diana Rossini said on the Scoop City podcast this was her.
Yeah. So,
and I'm not surprised, because she's watching these games, and apparently she had a big family contingent. And listen, I get that she shouldn't be making decisions based on whether she gets embarrassed in a certain game or not.
Yeah.
But there have been embarrassing moments under Mike Vrabel, and she didn't do anything. There were embarrassing moments after Mike Mularkey, and she didn't do anything. Like, there's been some embarrassing moments. It's the fact that the embarrassing moments are just too glaring to ignore.
Yeah.
Like, it's been embarrassing moment over embarrassing moment after embarrassing moment after embarrassing moment for the Brian Callahan regime. It's been terrible. She was promised something, and he couldn't live up to it. If that was you, it's your job, you'd be fired.
Yeah. I don't know, like, to put this team in such a tough spot for 2025. I mean, it just felt like this was inevitable. Like, what is the history show us for situations like this? Right? Like, we got into it from the jump on this thing, and it's just like, this is not going to work. You're basically saying, like, Brian Callahan, you've got to do a standout job, and you've got to be perfect, or else you're gone. And don't worry, we're going to be patient. We're going to be patient and see this thing through. But they didn't really have the authority to say that.
Right.
And I think that's where the dysfunction comes from, is just, I don't know, man. This was just.
Well, you wouldn't have had to say that if you didn't keep Brian Callahan.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say.
And, like, I get it. I mean, Mike Bergonzi just looked, he just did not want to be there. That 7:30 at night for a press conference and all that kind of stuff. And listen, if I was a FBI body language expert, I would say that his body language reads like a guy that is just along for the ride right now, that had no say in the decision and is having to deal with it. He's the one who's having to clean up the mess and be, the front-facing guy for a decision that he totally doesn't believe in. Does not mean that he wouldn't have done the decision at the end of the season, but it does mean that, hey, I kind of feel a little like I got egg on my face because I thought, multiple different things. Maybe I thought I had more power than I do.
Yeah.
Maybe I thought, that we were going to be a little bit more patient. But
Maybe I thought we were going to be better than we are.
I thought we were going to be better. But then in the day, you have a rookie quarterback, and I think it would be at least more damaging for this season on Cam Ward than it would be to just go ahead and fire Brian Callahan and try to find someone that can maybe. And I also thought it was interesting that Cam Ward said that Mike McCoy was the first person he met through the door on his 30th visit.
How about that? That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Not the GM, not the president of football ops, not the head coach, not the offensive coordinator, the quarterback coach, the senior offensive assistant.
Was this planned all along?
I don't know. Maybe it was a coup. Maybe he did that on purpose because he was like, hey. But I'll get here first.
Man, it is kind of funny, though, that we kind of felt like Brian was like a lame duck for a little bit. And then when they added Mike McCoy to the staff, the first thing we perked up were like, there's your interim coach.
Yeah.
Like they're already setting this thing up. And now here we are. I don't think that's what happened. It's just
right.
It's funny that we joked about it,
Yeah.
and now the situation has come to fruition.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is still a roster that's going to be the same roster, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you may have a few less pieces because, hey, we got a new interim head coach. That means we're open for business. Do you have a player that you may need other team? Because we may have the player that could fit that. Maybe we can
Yeah.
work out a deal. But that just means the roster is probably going to get worse.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So what can an interim head coach do with either the same roster or worse that Brian Callahan couldn't do? That's the answer to that we're waiting to see. We
Yeah.
don't know.
And I mean, I think the thing you mentioned keeping it simple, but also with McCoy's experience, maybe this will look like an offense in a better rhythm.
I mean, that's the thing is how much did he learn from other places? How much did he learn as a failed head coach? Okay, so maybe he's not calling plays, right? Bo Hardegree's calling the plays. Is Bo Hardegree now off the leash? Because it felt like that wasn't the Bo Hardegree we saw at Vegas was the same that was calling the plays here.
Yeah.
And that's because the head coach was still here.
Mm-hmm.
The same game planning strategy or methodology or whatever you want to call it was still happening. The lack of adaptability in those game planning sessions was still happening. They were seeing stuff on film and were shocked that a team could maybe do something possibly different on film. Like caught deer in the headlights look. So maybe that's all different. And maybe Bo Hardegree calls a more in-tune game with his quarterback because we saw him do it with Aiden O'Connell. We saw him shift drastically with Aiden O'Connell. But Josh McDaniels had been fired too. So what it was Antonio Pierce was the interim head coach. Now we have full control play call for Bo Hardegree.
Yeah.
Does that change? We don't know. But, I mean, I did find it interesting that he had an opportunity to take play calling away from him and either A, do it himself, or B, give it to Nick Holtz, who he has worked with before, but he chose to keep it with Bo Hardegree. Now, did he choose that, or is that mandated? I don't know, because we know it's obviously mandated that Bo Hardegree got the play calls in the first place.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm fascinated to see what this team is going to look like on Sunday. Because it's going to be a tough opponent. This is a tough spot to change some things up. But I don't know, man. Like, I mean, it sounded like Cam sounded a little upbeat, dare I say, in his press conference, his media availability this week. You had guys like Peter Skoronski saying, like, maybe it was time for a change. And I don't know. Maybe there is a sort of refresh in the locker room that guys are going to be a little more focused, locked in, motivated. I'm just really interested to see how McCoy digs into this playbook.
I do find it interesting that the stuff that Skoronski, James Williams, and Chig said in the Paul Karski article, and also the video you can see for Peter Skoronski, kind of echoes a little bit or kind of ties into what Albert Breer wrote, who is the Borgonzi guy, by the way, where there seemed to be waning faith in the staff, but they loved the staff. Like, they loved them as people, so it wasn't like Ken Wisenhunt, right? Like,
it hadn't turned toxic.
But they had waning faith in the staff, and I think that's warranted. Like, you can say,
lost a lot of ball games.
I don't have faith that my friend's going to show up on time, but I sure love my friend.
Yeah.
But he ain't going to show up to the event on time. I can tell you right now he won't show up to
Is
the
that
event.
a microaggression at me?
No, not you. I think you're relatively on time.
Unless I'm with my wife. So if I'm with my wife, I'm going to be 15 minutes late.
Gotcha. But
if it's just me, I'm going to be here 20 minutes early.
Yeah, I figured you're always early.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, that's kind of what it is. I love my friend, but he's late.
Yeah.
You know, I love this coaching staff, but they're not that good at their job.
Yeah.
Or I'm losing faith.
Faith.
My faith is waning, I think is what they said.
I'm curious if that kind of stuff makes it up to ownership. Or if it is just literally, I
bet the Big Jeff thing did. We had a flat week of practice.
Yeah.
And then Cam Ward standing up there and saying the same thing. And then Brian Callahan standing up there and saying, Well, they showed us a couple different looks we weren't expecting in the screen games. I'll talk to my staff this week about it. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah.
why aren't y'all pivoting during the game? That's been my big thing is like, why aren't y'all? And even Mike McCoy, I think, talked about is like you make adjustments during the game. At some point, he said it a little bit more complicated than I did, but like, why aren't we doing that?
Yeah. You think we can get Mike McCoy on Football and Other F Words?
I don't know.
That would
I
be
don't know.
cool. Yeah.
What else is on your chest that you need to get off?
Man, I don't know. I'm just trying to get through day by day. It's been a rough go of it. My ball still hurts. I came down with a really bad cold on Monday. Fever shot up to 102. Luckily, I'm on all these antibiotics, so it just kind of passed through me.
Are you taking your antibiotics?
Yeah. And
Okay.
I'm taking some pain meds. I'm taking some Robitussin and some NyQuil. I'm a floating head at night.
There you go.
It's probably not good for my liver,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to nuke this thing.
Do you have anything football related you want to talk about? You
No,
want to get off your chest?
no. I'm ready for the draft. I'm doing my draft prep now.
Who do you absolutely not want as the next head coach that you think is a actual serious candidate to be head coach?
Oh, man. See, this is where, like, we get into the coaching search talk, and I'm just like, it doesn't fucking matter. This team's going to suck forever. I don't know, man. I'm pretty open to everybody. I don't want Gruden because I feel like it'll be more of.
He hasn't been in the playoffs or won a playoff game since like 2002 or 2003.
I don't know if my voice is giving out on me. I don't know if we're serious about Eddie George, but not ready. I don't know. Like
I'd have to see the staff that Eddie George could assemble.
Yeah.
I'm Eddie curious just because Blaine is like, that dude's a motivator. Like, you want a CEO style head coach, that guy could probably turn everything around, and he knows ownership.
Let me tell you something. Tell you something about Eddie George. Now that we're cooking here.
Okay.
We're cooking here. I got to meet Eddie George. I got invited to the after
Watch
party.
out for your balls.
I'm
sitting like that.
I'm trying to get some support underneath them. He performed in a play at TPAC called Top Dog Underdog, him and Joel Diggs, and they were awesome. And I wrote a review about it for Sobros Network. They found the review and they invited me to the after party for closing night, and I got to meet Eddie and Joel. And I tell you, man, Eddie made me feel like I was the most important person in the world because I just went on my website and wrote a review of their play. So I could kind of see, like, I'm sitting there at TPAC talking to Eddie George, and he's thanking me, and he's just pumping me up. Like, he looked at me, he's like, "You're Stoney Keeley? You're Stoney Keeley. Man, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for writing this review." And I'm standing there like, I will run through a fucking brick wall for you, Eddie George. Like, you just point, and I'm there. So maybe there is something to this fact that he's the grand motivator.
Again, I would have to.
That was within, like,
Yeah.
I talked to him for maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and I was like, I pledge my life to you, Eddie George.
Well, I guess here's the thing is that he probably gets a little bit more leeway for a rebuild.
Yeah,
Okay. I think him and Cam Ward could mesh.
yeah,
He would probably incorporate. The thing is the staff, right? Like, for me, that's where the rubber meets the road for Eddie George is that, like, okay, if I were interviewing people, I would definitely put Eddie George on the list, and then I would figure out, you got to bring me a good staff.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he can just let Denard Wilson do his thing and you keep most of that staff. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing right now. But if, like, you're bringing, like, Greg Williams, I'm probably out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
I mean, at that point, you might as well just keep Denard Wilson.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, I mean, it's like not that different of a scheme, right? So I don't know. I'm in on Nagy. I'm in on Art Smith.
Don't say that around Ross.
I'm in on Kingsbury. I'm a big Kingsbury guy. I think you know what? I think he got done a little dirty in Arizona. I don't think they were as bad.
I could see that.
I think there was a lot of I think he took a lot of the blame for Kyler Murray being a shithead. His shittiness.
So you'd have to bring Travis Partridge over as your offensive coordinator. Travis Partridge. He is the offensive coordinator for Tennessee State, and then and Eddie brought him to Bowling Green.
So bring him to the Titans. Hey, they had just upset Toledo, okay? Vaunted Toledo. Don't tell me Eddie George can't coach. Who else have we been talking about? Mike McCarthy I'd be okay with. I'm not tingling in my loins for that or anything, but it would get the job done. I don't know. Nobody liked my idea of Rick Stockstill coaching the Tennessee Titans.
I think we're good on that. What did you think about the idea of Art Smith coming back?
Yeah, he was in the ones I said that I liked.
Sorry, I was trying to look for the stat.
That's all right. That's all right. I would be okay with that because, I mean, why not? Just why not? Nothing fucking matters.
What if you could get Eddie George, but then you get Mike McDaniel as your offensive coordinator?
That would be what a fucking bizarro world timeline that would be.
What if you just do what the Patriots did with Mike Vrabel and say, Eddie, we're going to hire you, but we're going to have to hire your staff for you. Like at least the offensive coordinator. But we're going to find you the best offensive coordinator out there we can.
That would be reality TV. I have to know what that would look like. That's pretty crazy.
I mean, I do think, there are concerns with Eddie George never having coached in the NFL, but he's played it.
He knows the game.
And he knows the game, but he's also been a head coach. Mike Vrabel was never a head coach anywhere.
Yeah.
But he's been a head coach. Eddie George has. So
have you talked about have you talked at all
I know,
this week
now
about...
I'm talking myself in. I could talk. Probably, I'm like you. I could talk myself into almost any.
That's
head
what
coach
I'm saying.
candidate.
Like, there's only
except for Tommy Rees and John Gruden.
Yeah, Tommy Rees can. Ugh. John Gruden, I'm out on. There was another one that people were saying that I'm out on, and I'm totally blanking on it now. But have you talked about my idea of if there's been some thin ice in Buffalo in recent years with Sean McDermott. They're kind of sliding right now. Everybody's talking about Tomlin and Harbaugh and Stefanski, but what if McDermott's one of those surprise fires if Buffalo doesn't turn things around this season?
Oh man, I told you when you text me that I would drive up myself in a U-Haul and pack up his family and just bring them down,
kidnap them.
I would need to be in those meeting rooms to hear what he had to say. If you know.
Yeah, but that's I know you're a big conspiracy theorist too.
Didn't we say we were speaking of the Bills out on Joe Brady though?
I am a little out on Joe Brady.
I don't know that I was ever really in on Joe Brady, to be honest.
Call me a coward if you want. I'm just too scared.
I'm too scared. Just there's something wonky, man. There's something not right. There's something off about him. But to be fair, I said the same thing about Liam Cohen, and that seems to be going swimmingly in Jacksonville. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's something about Joe Brady. It's when you really think about it, he's only been an offensive coordinator. His first time was 2019.
Yeah.
And then he went from offensive analyst up from the Saints up and jumped up to offensive coordinator for LSU, then jumped to offensive coordinator for Carolina, which completely was a disaster.
Yeah.
Then went quarterbacks coach and worked his way up. But that was all since 2019.
Yeah.
That's a really short time with not a lot of experience. And I don't know. It just is I don't know if I can pull the trigger on some Joe Brady.
I don't feel like the time is right for that kind of hire.
Yeah.
Given where the Titans are and what they're coming from. I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Eddie George, head coach, fired Mike McDaniel as offensive coordinator, fired Jonathan Gannon as defensive coordinator.
We're cooking. And Jonathan Gannon used to coach here anyway.
How about that? There
you go.
Yeah.
We did it. We fixed the Tennessee Titans just now.
I hope they're listening.
Yeah.
And by they, I mean Amy. I hope Amy's listening.
That would be
that's
pretty stout.
We just solved the Rubik's Cube, man.
I got a name I want to throw out there that I didn't get to really throw out there on Cover 2.
Okay.
I want to poke my head and figure out what's going on with Zach Robinson.
Ooh, that offense is fucking fun.
Yeah.
That offense, man.
And he's kind of got that Kevin O'Connell-esque, travel to him,
Yeah.
former quarterback in the NFL, coached over at Miami. He's now with Sean McVay. He's now coached over somewhere else and been a play caller for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That feels very Kevin O'Connell-esque to me. Because Kevin O'Connell, we got to remember, he's not a non-play calling OC when he got that job.
Yeah.
He called plays for the Commanders. I forgot all about that back in 2019.
Yeah.
But, Zach Robinson's done it for 2 years and done it pretty well. And Michael Penix Jr. looks pretty good. And I think Cam Ward's a little bit better than Michael Penix Jr. So let's have some fun.
Penix has a rifle, man.
Yeah.
That thing, that ball just like blows dudes' hands off.
I just, I don't know. Something about Zach Robinson and his resume, but also his proven with, okay, Kirk Cousins kind of sucked, but he was able still to make the offense kind of put up points.
Yeah.
And then he was able to get Michael Penix Jr. ready, and they were kind of picking off where they left off, and they're kind of an NFC powerhouse right now that, I don't know. I still think Art Smith got a raw deal in Atlanta, too, talking about guys that maybe got raw deals.
I do, too, yeah.
But, like, Zach Robinson, if you want maybe a upgrade over Brian Callahan, and he's been under Raheem Morris now for 2 years, and he's been under Sean McVay and Raheem Morris, that's much better than being under Zach Taylor.
So you figure, too, with those connections, he could probably pull a pretty good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
If he didn't want to retain Denard, we can't just ignore that possibility. Hey, what about Kyle Whittingham?
Okay. Anyway, Amy Adams Strunk is in the chat, and she says, "I'm always listening, Stoney. Never forget that."
Okay.
She singled you out.
Well, can you blame her?
I don't know. Like, yeah. I mean, how many games do you think?
Ultimately, who I think is going to be the head coach is Mike McCoy. That's what I'm afraid of.
You're afraid of it?
Didn't Blaine say that today too?
Yeah. It seems to be the growing sentiment from what I've heard that everybody's kind of scared that's going to be Mike McCoy.
Yeah.
Maybe so. What does the product on the field have to look like? You can quantify it in wins and losses and competitiveness or whatever. However you want to quantify it, for you to feel comfortable with Mike McCoy as full-time head coach.
Man, I think they've got to turn it around and get to the 6-win mark.
That seems fairly easy, I'm going to say, now this could be a
in
new
theory.
Maybe I've taken a new coach bump in the bathroom, but that seems in theory very easy.
I don't know, man. I don't know where the wins are going to come from.
It starts this week. I mean, the road to 9-8 is right now. Quandre Diggs said it.
They're gonna get mowed down by the Patriots.
I don't think so.
You know what? I'm already starting my prep for Colts week, and a thought occurred to me. I haven't studied all 32 teams, but I think the Colts are the best team I've watched this year.
Yeah, I think Blaine is kind of right up there with you.
I mean, they are efficient. They do what they want. They're well balanced.
That's how the Titans will look on Sunday.
They don't step over themselves. It's kind of wild, the precision with which that offense operates. Like, I think they're going to get mowed down against the Colts. I think the Chargers are going to manhandle them. I mean,
Joe Alt is now practicing again, so that's a bad timing.
Well, I mean,
I thought he wasn't supposed to make it until he's on. No, yeah, I thought they put him on IR. Did they not put him on IR?
I thought they did.
Okay, then I don't know why it matters if Joe Alt was at practice or not today.
I just don't line up any edge rushers over the tackles against the Chargers. None whatsoever. But I don't
have any.
I don't know where the wins come from. Because I don't think they beat the Saints. I don't think they beat the Browns.
Mike McCoy, new coach bump, bud.
The new coach bump going to last for the next 8 weeks?
It could. It lasted for the Vegas, right? They went 5-4.
That's true, yeah.
Remember, hey, listen, Quandre Diggs talked about he wasn't a new coach, but, they started off 1-7 in Detroit. Ended up going 7-8. or 7-9, and the Tennessee Titans are now a couple games ahead of them at 1-5.
So
they could win. They could go 9-8.
Let's entertain this. I'll walk with you for a second. This thought exercise. If we go back to what we talked about, what we expected of this team in the summer, they still have the personnel to do what we thought they could do. If the offensive line continues to gel and get better, and if they start playing Jackson Slater over Kevin Zeitler, and if the quarterback play is truly simplified, maybe we do start seeing some more of those explosives. Maybe we do start seeing their ability to sustain a drive, to do a little more of what they want. That personnel is still on the table. So to that point, if Mike McCoy can harness that, maybe they can get some of these wins. Maybe they can beat the Browns and the Saints, and maybe they steal one from the Jags or the Texans, or I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in it, but in theory, yeah, it's still on the table.
How many games have changed in your mind on the win-loss columns because Femi's on IR? Is that just a deal breaker, really? We're never going to win a game again?
Yeah, I've canceled my trip for the Super Bowl.
I do think that with the way that Borgonzi and Brinker talked, McCoy still provides you continuity, so you still have your continuity thread, right?
Yeah.
I do wonder if all it takes is to field a better product regardless of wins or losses. And I think wins need to be a big part of it if you're going to entertain, if you're seriously going to keep them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind a guy that comes in and kind of pulls a Mike Mularkey. I think Mike Mularkey only went like 2-7 during his 9-game stretch, if I'm not mistaken. Look that up, Ross, Mike Mularkey's record at 2015. He ain't even doing it. He's talking to Jackson.
They're in there just
young Jackson. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll do it.
Shooting the breeze. They're
Shooting
just having
the breeze.
a good old time.
What was your question?
Catching up.
Okay. What is your question?
I found it. Mike Mularkey went 2-7. So in the year's interim, and they kept him on.
Yeah. So that's Mike McCoy. 2 wins.
2 wins. Maybe that's all it takes. 2 additional wins.
If they beat the Chiefs,
all bets are off.
Mike
McCoy revenge game for all the times the Chiefs beat the Chargers.
Yeah.
Of
course, they beat the Chargers.
Maybe.
The Mike McCoy revenge game.
Why did I say Chargers and not Chiefs? I don't know. But yeah. There's a couple of revenge games left on the schedule.
They're not beating the Seahawks. I don't think they're beating the 49ers. Whew. Man,
They already beat the Cardinals. They already got that revenge game for them.
Yeah, they did.
They lost to Denver. So we're due for a revenge game win.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else?
I don't.
All right. So Eddie George for head coach is where we've landed.
Mike McDaniel, offensive coordinator. Jonathan Gannon, defensive coordinator.
We've done it. We fixed the Titans in 1 night.
Yeah.
See how easy that? I don't see why they make it so difficult.
I don't either.
Have a good staff in place. That's all you need.
It's all you need.
And to know how the game of football works, but
and good players.
Yeah.
And good personnel people.
Yeah, Titans got that in spades, right?
And a little bit of luck.
Titans have great players.
Yeah, you're right. 12-5, there's no reason to think. I'm stupid for thinking they won't win another game.
Yeah, 12-5. The race to 12-5 starts now, but really it's more of maybe the race to 9-8.
They do still have a lot of division games left. They control their own destiny.
If they win 4 more games.
Yeah.
4 more, so that gets them to 5 wins. That would be pretty remarkable because I really thought this was going to be an 0-17 team at one point this year.
So that would mean
5
McCoy's
wins.
going 4-7.
4-7 down the stretch.
That would be, God, I would celebrate that actually. I might cry.
You might cry?
I might cry.
Titans talk back.
Yeah. When they get the 4th win of the season.
Or the 7th loss of the season.
Just, I've never dreamed of times like these.
There you go. All right, that will do it for us. For Stoney Keeley, I'm Zach Lyons. This has been Football and Other F Words, and you have just been effed.